Hi BookTube. Today I decided I'm going to do a Monday reads. I have so much fun doing a Friday reads, talking about the books I'm planning to get to over the weekend, and so I thought, why not do one for Monday through Thursday? So you can get more of an idea of like what books I'm picking up, not just like the weekend not just the weekend plans or the week wrap up, but like the books I'm planning to read. So, I'm still working my way through Anna Karenina, like I will be, until the end of the month, with a pretty movie cover. I'm currently 16% of the way through, and there's only so many days left in March, and I really need to jump on this book. It's hard because right now I'm juggling a couple of books. As you'll see, the other book I'm working my way through this whole month, but I had a late start on this one, was Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. I didn't pick this one up until like last week, I believe. So I really should have been reading this book throughout the whole month, but I figured, there's plenty of time, I can get to it. So for this Eye of the World, I'm 34% of the way through. So Anna Karenina, I really need to get a jump on because it's a bit of a bigger book than Eye of the World. But Anna Karenina, I just got to part 2 for anyone who's read that book. It's kind of like a convoluted story, so it's really hard for me to describe exactly where I'm at the moment. But I'll have to figure out a way to describe that book, I guess. And Eye of the World, I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't read it because I don't want to give too many details. But for Eye of the World, they have encountered their first big city because they grew up in a small village. These like group of people who they living a normal life, and then all of a sudden they get attacked, and it's a mystery of like why they're being attacked and what's going on. So they have to flee their village because if they stay in the village, they will continue to be attacked, and so they're putting their families at risk. And so they flee to they're trying to go to a safe haven, but it's far away. And so right now they've just encountered their first city, and they're all like shocked about the city life, and there's so many people there. And now they're back on the road and running from hordes of Trollocs is what they're called, which is like a human and like animals mixed together, and they're like evil creatures that are just bloodthirsty. And so that gives an idea of where I'm at in the book for people who've read it, and gives you an idea of the story so far. So yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at with that one. And this book it's 814 pages as the paperback, but I think I have an ebook. I think the hardcover is around 600 or so pages. So 34%. I should have got my page numbers. I looked at the percentage real quick before I filmed this video. But yeah. So that's where I'm at with that one. And Anna Karenina, I'm sorry for not being able to give a more full, in-depth review of what's happening because there's so many different characters I'm meeting, and so I haven't really got like a gist of exactly what's going on with all the characters because I don't know about you, but like for me reading a Russian book, sometimes their name switches. So I'm like, who is this? And it's a nickname, or sometimes it changes. And so maybe later on this week I'll be able to have a better grasp on the story. I am understanding the story. It's just hard for me to explain, where to start with all these different characters. Anyway, so this is the last one that I'm carrying over from this weekend. I picked it up on Sunday. Is Wise Blood by Flannery O'Connor, and this is her first novel actually. She's really famous for her short stories. And it was funny enough, I was reading this book and I was like, like 30% in, and I was like, this all sounds really familiar. And it came to a point where I knew it was coming up, and I was like, I've read this before. I don't remember the end. I don't remember the ending, but I've read this before, and so it's a reread for me. Surprise! I didn't really use Goodreads until 2014, and I read a lot of books, and so all those unread books aren't documented per se, and so I had no idea until reading my way through it that I've read this before. It's a story about a man named Hayes Montz, and the other main character is Enoch, and it's kind of like there are two different stories because Enoch is kind of all about like spur of the moment. Whatever he sees, he'll do. He doesn't have a moral compass. If he sees like a woman, he's just gonna sit there and stare at her, and he's gonna say like horrible things about her. But then you have Hayes, who is all about. He's kind of like the embodiment of a Christian, but he's trying to set up a church that is like church without Christ. So it's kind of like a weird, he's kind of wavering on believing in, Christian faith or not. So it's like these two, like, dichotomies of, like, polar opposites, but they keep coming together in these different situations. It's kind of a weird book. It's hard to describe, but that kind of makes sense. Flannery O'Connor's really, she has a huge theme on religion. I think she grew up as a Catholic or something. I'm not 100% sure. But there's a lot of religion in her books, in her short stories at least. And so in this novel, as you can see on the cover, it's a cross on the cover here. So, there's lots of talk of baptism and, evil versus good, and, the Christian faith versus an atheist faith. And so, yeah, that's why I'm 64% of the way through. This is a short book. It's 256 pages. So I'm hoping to finish it tonight, so I can knock out some of these books. And so these last three are the ones I'm planning to get to throughout this week. Because I know we're wrapping up at the end of this month, and so I really want to get to some more mysteries. And so I picked two that I want to read to add to my total for March Mystery Madness. And this is Midsummer Night's Mischief by Jennifer David Hess. I love this cover. And this is the first book in a Wiccan Wheel mystery. And this one says, it's all about, like, the pagan holidays. I guess each book is focusing on a different pagan holiday. And so this first one is the summer solstice. And it says, as the summer solstice approaches in idyllic Edendale, Illinois, attorney Kelly isn't feeling the magic. She's about to land in a cauldron of hot water at work. Good thing she has her private practice to fall back on as a Wiccan. She'll just have to summon her inner goddess and set the world to rights. Midsummer Eve is meant for gratitude and celebration, but Kelly is not in her typical upbeat mood. The family of a recently deceased client is blaming her for the loss of a Shakespearean heirloom worth millions, and Kelly's career may be on the line. With both a Renaissance fair and a literary convention in town, Edendale is rife with suspicious characters, and the intrepid attorney decides to tap into her unique skills to crack the case. So this is like a mixture of, like, mystery and like a cozy mystery, and it's also for, like, it has, like, a literary fair and, like, a pagan Renaissance festival and all that. So I like, how it's the combination of these different, like, cool themes. And I don't know hardly anything about the pagan belief system. All I know is, like, the solstices and, like, Halloween. That's really it. So maybe this book will teach me something about, what each of the holidays are for Wiccans. And this other one is another cozy mystery. And this is Murder with Peacocks by Donna Andrews. And this is the first book in the Meg Langslow series. And I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I'm expecting it to be hilarious. So I love a good laugh. This one says 3 weddings and a murder. So far, Meg Lanslow's summer is not going swimmingly. Down in her small Virginia hometown. Oh, she's from Virginia. Okay, I'm from a small town in Virginia. So I think I'm going to like this book. Just because I can totally imagine the setting. She's maid of honor at the nuptials of 3 loved ones, each of whom has dumped the planning in her capable hands. One bride is set on including a Native American herbal purification ceremony, while another wants live peacocks on the lawn. Maybe that's where the peacocks are gonna... Maybe there's a murder with these peacocks, I don't know. Only help from the town's drop-dead gorgeous hunk, disappointingly rumored to be gay, keeps Meg afloat in a sea of dotty relatives and outrageous neighbors. And in a whirl of summer parties and picnics, Southern hospitality is strained to the limit by an offensive newcomer who hints at skeletons in the guest's closet. But it seems this lady has offended one too many when she's found dead in a suspicious circumstance, followed by a string of accidents, some fatal. Soon, level-headed Meg's to-do list extends from flower arrangements and bridal registers to catching a killer, for the next catered event is her own funeral. So this will be another cozy mystery for me to sink my teeth into. And this actually, I just realized it's talking about weddings, and I haven't really been following the prompts for March Mystery Madness. I've just been picking mysteries that's been on my to-read list for a while. But one of the prompts was to read a mystery with a wedding, because it was like, the prompts were like something old, something blue, something borrowed, something new. And so, because all those like wedding theme related, it was like a bonus, I guess, or it was a bonus, or it was one of the prompts was a wedding. And so I actually am ticking that box. And so I think I might have gotten all of them unbeknownst to me. And so this last one that I'm planning to read is one that a lot of people are talking about this series. I keep seeing people talk about this, the third book in the series. I believe it's the third one that just came out. But I haven't read this series. And so I put a hold of my library like a month or two ago, and I finally got a hold of it. So I really want to read it before it's taken away from me, because there's a bunch of holds on it. And so I have to read it in my allotted time. And this is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I'm sure a lot of you've heard of the series. It's the Winter Night trilogy. I don't know much about it, but it says it's set at the edge of a Russian wilderness. And so this kind of will go, I guess, go nicely with Anna Karenina, which is a Russian novel. And this one says, at the edge of the Russian wilderness, winter lasts most of the year, and the snowdrifts grow taller than houses. But I'm horrible with names. Vasilisa doesn't mind. She spends this winter nights huddled around the embers of a fire with her beloved siblings, listening to our nurse's fairy tales. I should have read this in the wintertime. It sounds like a cozy setting. I need a fireplace and some snow in California, please. But no, it's just there's rain. Anyway, above all, she loves the chilling story of Frost, the blue-eyed winter demon who appears in the frigid night to claim unwary souls. Wise Russians fear him, her nurse says, and honor the spirits of house and yard and forest that protect their homes from evil. So this sounds like it's going to take like elements of fairy tale, with like the evil forest you do not want to venture into. So it sounds like it's going to maybe have some inspiration from that. After Vasili's mother dies, her father goes to Moscow and brings home a new wife. I have bad feelings. Because always in fairy tales, like the stepmother, like think of Cinderella, is the nicest. So we'll see what's going on with this new wife. Fiercely devout, city-bred, Vasili's new stepmother forbids her family from honoring the household spirits. The family acquiesces, but Vasila is frightened, sensing that more hinges upon their rituals than anyone knows. And indeed, crops begin to fail. Evil creatures of the forest creep near. Oh, there's going to be some creatures, okay. And misfortune stalks the village. All the while, Vasila's stepmother grows even harsher. I knew she was. Grows even harsher in her determination to groom her rebellious stepdaughter for either marriage or confinement in a convent. So this sounds like it's going to be good. I've heard a lot of other things about this fantasy. It's listed as fantasy, historical fiction, and fairy tale, young adult, and historical. So yeah, I'm sure it sounds like it has all those in there. So yeah, these are the books I'm planning to read this week until, I guess, Thursday night. Wish me luck. It's been a very long Monday. I'm exhausted. I don't know about you, but always on Mondays, I have a hard time sleeping Sunday night because I'm well rested. So Sunday night I have a hard time sleeping, so I'm always tired on Monday. So we'll see how long I keep my eyes open. I have to like hold my hands and like just keep it open so I can keep reading. But I don't know. We'll see, because I have quite a list of books to read. My main goals this week is to get a huge chunk read of Anna Karenina, along with Eye of the World. It's a reread. Eye of the World is a reread for me, so I know it's like a easier read. I can kind of like read it faster than Anna Karenina, because Anna Karenina, I really pay attention to the character names. So yeah, these are the books I'm planning to read. Let me know if you've read any of these, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, BookTube.